Welcome to Dodgers Dawgs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in on a Sunday evening where we try to figure out what in the world is going wrong with our beloved Dodgers. The Dodgers over the weekend get swept by the Milwaukee Brewers. And to be honest with you, the Brewers just came into Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles and just simply put, they kicked the Dodgers' ass. There's no other way to put it. We're going to cuss and discuss all the different things that could have happened. You know, maybe some better defense today or some offense at the opportune times. You know, on Friday, the Dodgers had 2 opportunities with runners in scoring position. Tonight they had what? 2 again? And so, I mean, it's just one of those deals to where you're in that stretch, and I'll say this, you're in that stretch to where it seems like whenever your pitching is good, like Tyler Glasnow was good on Friday, then your offense doesn't show up. And then whenever your offense is good, like yesterday, then you can't hold a lead as things go on. So it is one of those frustrating patches. And, hey, we're going to start something new. If we're going to try it and see if this is something that you guys and gals out there might want to do. We'll see if we can get a big enough crowd and if we can get some people that might have some interest. I have put the link you can see in the chat to the actual show. And so if you want to join the show and be on the show as, you know, like Austin and Mark and Coach and Coach Barakoff and Coach Holt, you know how they're like co-hosts? Well, if you want to do that and you want to come on the show and give your thoughts, obviously we're not going to cuss and do that kind of thing. It's going to be acceptable type behavior. And come on and give your thoughts and make yourself feel better or make everybody feel better about the Dodgers. Click that link, and then if I see that somebody's in the show, then I will click them over, and we will make you a part of the show, and you'll have however long that you want to give your thoughts on the show. So, hey, get on the phone, get on social media, do whatever you have to do. Let everybody know that Dodgers Dawgs is live. So Clayton Kershaw today, he wasn't bad at all. I mean, he got very frustrated. If you have not checked out the link to the Clayton Kershaw post-game interview, it's very obvious that he was very frustrated. I'll be honest with you, I'm probably going to catch some fire with this. I was a little disappointed. I have been 2 or 3 different times. He is a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest players ever to put on a Dodgers uniform. But his mannerisms towards his teammates, his frustration towards his teammates, I get it. It's a frustrating patch. But whenever you're showing frustration and, in my opinion, showing up your teammates on the field, that's not acceptable. Great teams don't point fingers. They point the blame back to themselves. So I'm going to put this right out there right off the bat. I was disappointed in Clayton Kershaw's mannerisms. I was disappointed in his mannerisms the other day. There's been 2 or 3 different situations to where I feel like he's called out his teammates on the field. Y'all can disagree with that all you want. And, hey, I'm not saying I'm not a huge Clayton Kershaw fan. He is one of my childhood heroes. I love him to death. He is somebody that he's a baseball icon to me, and I will always hold him to that regard. But I'm going to say point blank, in times like this is when you need to unify better. This is when you actually need to not point blame. This is when you need to come together, not whenever your leaders go in the dugout and throw temper tantrums and throw fits, and then, in my opinion, throw fits on the field that is showing up your teammates. So that's frustration for me. Headed towards Clayton Kershaw. And really, the best way that you can handle situations like this that aren't good, what you can't do as a leader, okay, is you can't pick on like the 2 or 3 worst players on the team and make examples out of them. It's like, okay, well, what are you doing there? Really, what you got to do is you got to attack at the top. You got to go from the top and work down. Because if your best players fall in line, then everybody else is going to fall in line as well. So, in my opinion, that needs to happen right now with Clayton Kershaw. Of course, his post-game, he blew it off like, I was just frustrated at myself. That is not the mannerisms he's shown. If he was frustrated at himself, then it did not come off that way, at least to me, on TV. So that's got to get cleaned up. And here's the problem you have with that. When your leaders are doing that and you're trying to be a manager and a leader of all these men, it makes it very, very difficult to have a cohesive unit at that time. Because Esteury Ruiz, okay, he made the mistake in left field. James Outman threw the ball to the wrong base the other day. Andy Pages missed the fly ball today. Mistakes happen. You want to know the first mistake of that inning was the fact that the Dodgers hung a 3 spot, and then he came out and threw ball 1, then he walked the leadoff guy. So the mistake happened right off the bat in the inning where Clayton came out and walked the first hitter. So I say that to say everybody has blame, okay? But when he walked the first guy, the other 7 guys behind him, and we have one right here, Bruce Davis, we're going to get to him in a minute. They all didn't just lose their mind and show up Clayton Kershaw from that perspective. So I'm going to attack that right off the bat. Let's get a good conversation on that. Let's see what you guys think on that deal, and let's go from there. So we're audio at this point, and we have Bruce Davis. Bruce, can you give me a mic check here to make sure that we have good audio here? Yeah, we got you right here. This is Bruce Davis right here joining the show. So, hey, new feature, Bruce. You're the first one ever to come on the show. I really appreciate it. So, hope you enjoy the new feature here. Have at it. We're all frustrated, Bruce.
We've been through this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but I keep looking back is that we're still in like the mix. Would you rather some things happen now in July than when you get to the postseason? Because if you lose whatever 4 games, or the first round 3 games, then you're literally done for the season. So yeah. I'm frustrated. I don't like what Kershaw did, and I agree with you.
So are you in agreement with me? Am I seeing? I was hoping I didn't see something that like it was just me seeing that, so other people saw that too.
No, I seen it. I don't think that's called for. I think Kershaw, if he's got a problem with somebody, should, and this goes for any player on our team or just MLB in general, I don't think you need to act in front of cameras. I think it's the wrong thing, and that's just how I feel. I get it. Our pitching, we've had this problem during this losing streak.
We have.
But I think you want to be mad, slam things. That's fine if that's what you want to do, but do not do stuff towards your players. It's just not right. It's not. Yeah. I respect Kershaw. I love Kershaw.
We all do. Yeah.
But yeah, we can't be acting like this. Like, I get it. Does somebody? We've been here, but I don't know what can we do. Does Kershaw need to say something? Does Freddie? Does Mookie? Somebody needs to tell these guys when they're back in the locker room. Say, you know what? We did this last year. Let's go game by game, because that's how you got to do it. We can't look 3-4 months down the road. Let's look at tomorrow's game. All right, we lost today. We lost the series again. All right, well, let's start a new one tomorrow. Somebody needs to speak up. Somebody needs to say something to wake these guys up. I don't know if that's Dave Roberts. I've been seeing a lot of negative, and I just want to let people know it's not Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts wasn't on third base.
Sure.
I'm one of the biggest I was criticized of Dave Roberts, but we can't do this to this guy. This guy just led us to 2 World Series, man. Somebody's got to do something. I don't know what it is. Maybe you do. Maybe the fans in the chat know. I don't know. But we have got to stop the negativity. We are Dodger fans, man. Could you imagine being one of these small market teams that are just saying, okay, if I could just make the wild card?
Yeah.
Making the wild card is not for the Dodgers, man. It's all about winning it.
Yeah. Totally agree. So, hey, coming up against the trade deadline, Bruce, are you more concerned about the offense or the defense?
Well, I think that I wouldn't mind a bat, and I wouldn't mind some pen help. But after today's defense, that's what unraveled everything. And yeah. I get it. I get why Kershaw's mad, because everything just started falling down. But honestly, I don't know. If we're going to keep playing like this, I would say defense.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree. Hey, any final thoughts? Just any more frustration you want to get out there? Any other message you want to get to Dodgers fans or anything about what's going on.
I just want to thank you, Dodger Daily, for letting me come on and doing this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm not upset. Listen, we're in July. We can fix this still.
Yeah,
and
right.
people that are negative about it, well, okay, that's your choice. But I'm not going to be negative.
I'm frustrated. I'm very frustrated. I'll say that. Yes.
I am too. So thank you, sir, for letting me join your Dodger Daily. I really appreciate it.
Bruce Davis, congratulations. You are the first person to call into the show. Hopefully we'll get a whole bunch more. We'll start this on every Sunday night, and we'll act as the crowd as the co-host. So as you saw the link there, I just posted it again, I do believe. There is the Google Meets link there in the chat. Let me go ahead and post that into TikTok one more time again so you can have that link. Just click that link and you can chime on in just like Bruce did and become a co-host and give your thoughts, and we can have a good conversation about Dodgers baseball. So Bruce had a good perspective there. Hey, it's July. We can fix this. Let's just keep grinding. Let's figure out what's going on. Let's figure out what we need, and let's move forward. So, but I will say this, I'm very frustrated. If you want to know just exactly how Dodgers baseball has gone here since basically the Dodgers took the big lead, on the 9-game lead on the Giants. Today, Tommy Edman was playing third base, and he threw a baseball to first base to Miguel Rojas. Let that sink in for a minute. That's where the Dodgers are at, okay? That's where this team is at the moment. The defense was frustrating, no doubt about it, but to me, the defense, those are situations. Esteury Ruiz, probably not going to be your everyday left fielder. Andy Pages is not going to make that mistake again. Freddie Freeman, that's a tough play by Tommy Edman. Freddie Freeman makes some great picks. Tommy Edman's played a lot better than I think anybody could have expected or hoped at third base. So that's here or there for me. The biggest aspect to me right now is just the Dodgers aren't in sync. I mean, it's like I said earlier, it's like the offense hasn't been good at all lately, no doubt about it, but the pitching hasn't been either. So whenever your offense and your pitching hasn't been good, then what happens is occasionally when your offense does play good, that's when your pitching lets you down. Then when your pitching is good, that's when your offense lets you down. That's where you're at right now. So another thing that I'll tell you what, if you look at the way today's game went on the 2-run single, I can't remember the Brewers' name, with 2 outs. That was the inning where Kershaw led off with the walk, and then you had the throw to first base, and then you had the capper that scored the 2 runs to give the Brewers the lead. Okay, we've said this in the crowd before. Will Klein, I think, has a chance to help this team, and his fastball is good. I mean, his fastball has good. I know it's gotten hit around this year, but the reason why Will Klein's fastball has gotten hit around is because he doesn't throw no strikes. Next thing you know, you're behind in the count. You're behind the count, so now all of a sudden you're having to throw up hitters counts cookies, and major league hitters are going to sit on that. So Will Klein today got beat on a cutter, on a 93-mile-an-hour cutter. And I don't think there's any doubt about it. His best pitch is his fastball. And I've always just kind of, and in situations like that, especially when you're a guy like that, that's really just trying to be on the margins and helping the team, throw your fastball. I mean, I know it's hindsight's 20/20, but as far as Dodgers Dogs and on the Dodgers Daily Network, just go back to our last show we did, and I can't remember who it was. Whoever it was in the chat mentioned Will Klein just needs to trust his fastball. Well, there you go. That's why Dodgers Dogs, as part of the Dodgers Daily Network, is the best baseball chat, because our crowd comes up with stuff like that. And lo and behold, he throws a 93-mile-an-hour cutter. That's the game winner. And so that was a frustrating part of it to me, was that just trust your fastball. Hey, if you get beat throwing your best pitch, then you get beat throwing your best pitch. It is what it is. So the Showtime LA, we have a great crowd on the YouTube side. We have a wonderful crowd, as we always do, on the TikTok side. Gregory Alfonso Lucio, Dodgers have a big problem. Doesn't matter if pitchers are coming back if the offense isn't doing their job, defense and offense. Hey, Alfonso Lucio, sound very low, Casey. Says I sound low. I think that was before I unmuted myself. Yeah, Bruce Davis, we did get our butts kicked. Gregory, please tell me Freddie is okay. Yes, Freddie, as a matter of fact, got x-rays. The x-rays came back negative. So there's some good news there. Some other good news is that Max Muncy looks like he's actually ahead of schedule. At least he's going to be on schedule. It looks like he's going to start swinging the bat here before too long. And it looks like Roki Sasaki could be back, end of August? Something like that. So it'll be interesting to see if they rush Roki Sasaki back, especially if you do get Blake Snell back, who I believe is throwing today for Oklahoma City and Sacramento. I have not even had a chance to look at that score. I did look at the box score earlier, so Blake Snell going tonight. If you can get him back, Glass now stays on top. Kershaw is Kershaw, and Shohei Ohtani continues to pitch well. I'll be curious to see how fast that they track Roki Sasaki back. That'll be an interesting situation for me. And you got to think here. So I've talked all the last 2 or 3 shows. The sense of urgency has to be third base. So apparently, what it looks like to me, and again, things can change, especially this time of year, on its head in a moment's notice. But to me, it looks like they are expecting Max Muncy to be back. They're expecting him to be at full force when they need him the most down the stretch. And so the solution at third base, to me, at this moment, looks like it actually is indeed Max Muncy, and you use Tommy Edman to fill in the time until Max Muncy can get back. A little bit of Miguel Rojas, who has been hitting the ball very well. That puts Hyun-Sung Kim in the lineup a little bit more. And then Freddie, I'll tell you, a little bit, so you never want your star players to ever have any kind of injury because you never know how that's going to play out. But I will say there could be some silver linings to the Freddie Freeman deal. I've been saying for a while now that Freddie Freeman looks tired. His body doesn't look like it's really healthy enough to be the Freddie Freeman that we expect. I have said many different times, I squarely think that's why we're not seeing the offensive Freddie that we're used to seeing. So obviously you don't want him to get hit on the hand. That's very scary. I mean, that could break your hand. But having the x-rays come back negative, so maybe Freddie Freeman gets some time off that he wouldn't have normally taken. That does a couple of things. That gets him a little bit more fresh, or maybe we can get a little bit closer to the Freddie Freeman that we're accustomed to having, the Hall of Fame Freddie Freeman that we all love. And then also, maybe you can slip in Dalton Rushing some extra at-bats. Dalton Rushing, don't forget, played first base his entire career at Louisville until his last year there as a Louisville Cardinal. So it looks like to me that Max Muncy is the solution at third base. I'll be interested to see Michael Conforto since mid-June has been okay. He has not been bad. He's been somewhere around 250. He easily. So he's been kind of, and I am one of the guilty people here. Michael Conforto has been kind of that guy that you kick a little bit. He's the guy, he's been the punching bag, if you will, because he has not been good at all this year. But he has, in the last month or so, maybe not quite a month, he has been anything but the problem. He's been not bad at all. So here's the problem with that is it just kind of muddies the waters. So he's doing just well enough. You know, like Gavin Lux last year, the Dodgers had to make a decision on him. I will never back down off that. They either needed to send him down to Oklahoma City and find a different second baseman and figure it out from that way, or he needed to start holding up his end of the weight and start being the Gavin Lux he was capable of being. Well, lo and behold, he was maybe the best offensive player on the Dodgers team the second half of the season. So that worked itself out. There was no muddy or gray area there. There was no gray water to it. Well, what Michael Conforto is doing right now, yes, he has not been terrible. Yes, he's been okay. He's been far from the biggest problem the Dodgers have had offensively. But what's actually happening now is that the water's getting muddied. So now, do you move on from Michael Conforto, or do you keep the guy in there that's hitting 250 in the last month, and you just hope he doesn't go back to the Michael Conforto you had before that? So it's getting confusing in that situation. That's the risk you take whenever you let something run this long, is that a guy like him gets just good enough to where you go, well, we're not going to DFA him. We're not going to do this. We're not going to make him a bench bat. He's He's not our biggest problem, so let's just stick with him and see if it works. That's a situation you have there. But I will say a silver lining to the Freddie deal, maybe he gets a little bit more rest. Maybe that makes him better. And then also maybe that naturally creates some more at-bats for Dalton rushing. So that is my positive thought of the day there. Showtime LA, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa have been a lot more worth my time and exciting than the Dodgers. Yes. Oh, Donnie boy, refreshing take, Casey. I'm not sure if you were talking about the Clayton Kershaw deal or what you were talking about there, but I certainly appreciate that. And again, just a reminder, I am going to put the link in here one more time. I'm going to do it periodically. That way, as we go down this chat, if you want to join as a co-host like Bruce did, then click that link. It will shoot it to me. I will get you on Dodgers Daily, and we will get your thoughts live on the show. So come be a part of the show. Come be a co-host. That really helps me. So we have a really, really nice crowd logging in. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Yes, Showtime. I was actually at the game Friday. My wife and I, my beautiful bride of soon to be 26 years. We had just a wonderful day in Tulsa, America. We just spent the whole day there. Just had a hell of a good time. And to be honest with you, I love baseball and I love going and doing all the fun things we did, but it was just fun getting to spend the whole day with her. That was the funnest part of that whole deal. But I was there for the Jackson Ferris outing. We were up close and personal, and I can tell you his fastball has some life to it, and those AA hitters had no shot at the fastball up in the zone. And the beautiful thing about Ferris' show, and then everybody else who's interested, is that he was about 95 to 96, consistently 95 to 96. I didn't see very many fours. I saw a lot more sixes than I saw fours, okay? And so then his off speed, I wasn't directly behind home plate, so I couldn't tell if it was a changeup or a slider or what it was. But his off speed was exactly 10 miles an hour off at 86. And he was throwing strikes, and he really just kind of had the Travelers hitters just baffled. He had them outmatched. It was a thing of beauty to watch in person. Jackson Ferris mowed down the Arkansas Travelers, 7 innings scoreless on Friday. Got to see it with my own eyes. So that was a whole lot of fun. Alfonso Lucio, Muncie did that in the postseason. He was a leader, yes, and that would be round everybody up. Hey, we're not going to point fingers. That's my point is whenever you get frustrated like that, especially when you get – so like whenever a teammate makes a mistake and you show visible frustration, okay, that can be interpreted as showing up your teammate. Everybody makes mistakes. And so the point is, hey, we're all in this together. So here's the deal, okay? The mentality you have to have is, hey, I got your back, bro. No worries. I got your back, man. Hey, you made a mistake. I'll make up for it. Next time I'll make a mistake, and then you make up for me. Just like, by the way, Esteury Ruiz did today with the home run. Just like Andy Pages did, by the way, when he went up against the fence, had no regard for his body whatsoever, and made one hell of a catch, okay? And then, by the way, he got 2 hits, including one in the 9th inning. So, I mean, whatever mistakes were made, those 2 guys, Esteury Ruiz and Andy Pages, like I always say, you can't just go buy a DeLorean, put a flux capacitor in it, go to the local mechanic shop and buy a flux capacitor, put it in it and travel back in time and redo the error you made. You can't do that. The only thing you can do is the next time you have a chance to help your team is to go up there or go out there, whether it be at the plate or in the field, and do something that helps positively affect the baseball game moving forward. And that's exactly what Esteury Ruiz did. That's exactly what Andy Pages did. Dave pulled a Dave, and I understand it, but I can't agree with it. You guys know I love Dave Roberts. I think he's a Hall of Fame manager. There is nobody on earth I would rather have on earth managing my Dodgers than Dave Roberts. A guy hits a freaking home run, leave his ass in. This is not rocket science, okay? Put your damn book down. Put all your analytics down. Put all that crap down and use your eyes, use your brain, use your gut, and leave the guy in that hit a home run last time, a guy who's feeling that momentum, a guy who is thankful as hell that he made up for a mistake, and let Esteury Ruiz ride that wave. Don't pinch hit for him. That's not a time there to go analytical, my opinion. That's a time to put your notebook down. That's a time to turn to all of your players, and that's a time to turn to all your coaches, tell them to turn off the damn iPad, close the notebooks, turn off the computers, hell with all the analytics. That's Esteury Ruiz at the plate. If you have to, when he goes up to the plate, say, you know what, Esteury, right here, every analytic on earth tells me I should be pinch hitting for your ass because it's a lefty-righty match. It's a righty-righty matchup. I got a lefty on the bench, and you're a rookie, and I've got an experienced guy next to you. But you know what, Esteury? I'm going to put you at the plate. You know why? Because you're my guy right now. I got faith in you. I got trust in you. That's what you do in that moment. You want me to give you an example? I just interviewed him. He is a awesome major leaguer who had a gigantic impact on a World Series. And he just go back to the interview. He point blank said the trust and the faith that he found out that Dave Roberts had in him, and then he found out that Freddie Freeman had in him was huge. That's Blake Trinan. That's Blake Trinan. So imagine a young guy in Esteury Ruiz, okay? Or even Michael, you tell me Michael Conforto has a hell of a lot of confidence right now. Yeah, he may be a little bit better, but he's not stepping up to the plate going, hey, throw that son of a bitch south because I'm getting ready to knock the crap out of it. He ain't walking to the plate like that. But I guarantee you with a rookie, Dave could have talked Esteury Ruiz into being bulletproof at that point. He could have gave him a 15-second speech about trust, and you're my guy, and you're my man. Go up there and kick this guy's ass. It's personal. It's all that crap. And he could have had him. He could have had him blowing snot like a bull. I promise you, he could have. So I'm getting off on a rant, but that part of it frustrated me. So I just kind of wanted to get that out there. And I'm liable. I'm just going to say this right now. I'm liable to go on rants tonight. I'm a little pissed. If you haven't watched my post-game interview with Jerry Hairston Jr., he nailed it. The Dodgers got their asses kicked, and what they learned this weekend is if you don't play baseball the way you're capable of, you're going to get your ass kicked. And the biggest part of it that's frustrating to me is that it's coming out of the All-Star break. You had all this damn time to go recharge your batteries, figure out what the hell's going wrong, and we come out and we can't play any offense. That's what's frustrating to me. Now, I'm not frustrated at any individual human being, just the overall setting. And then just the aspect of just the urgency to it or the lack of urgency to it or whatever the hell is going on. The Dodgers need to figure this out because the Padres are 3 back from them. And thank God, hey, since the Giants beat the Dodgers in game 1 of that Dodgers and San Francisco series, the Giants have lost 5 games in a row. They suck. I said that as soon as the Dodgers played them. They don't play good enough offense. Their pitching is good, so that might hold them around and this and that, but their offense just does nothing for me. But if you leave the San Diego Padres around, okay, it's like any kind of underdog, especially a team. I'm not even sure. I mean, yeah, everybody's an underdog of the Dodgers because the Dodgers are just that good. But how big of an underdog? I mean, hell, when you got Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr., who's one of the best hitters in the league, when you got Luis Ariz, you got all these guys, you got great pitching. I mean, how big of an underdog are you in a 3-game series? Is there, in baseball, with all the variables in baseball, actually, is there an underdog in a 3-game series? And that's kind of what I'm saying. So you leave the Padres hanging around. You had a 9-game lead. You had a chance to knock this damn thing out, bring up guys like Alex Freeland, let them get their feet wet, give Dalton Rushing way more at-bats than he's getting. You had a chance to do that, and instead, now we are where we are. Hey, I'll tell you this. It's like a freshman, okay? By the time you end the last stretch of the season, which the Dodgers have played, 100 games? Okay? They're way past the halfway mark. I know the All-Star break feels like the halfway mark, but they're way past the halfway mark. The injury thing, bye, see ya, gone, out of here. I ain't listening to it no more. Forget it, okay? These guys have been at the major league level long enough, and if they're not good enough to to play up to the Dodgers standard, then damn it, go get somebody who is. Okay? Why do we have them on our roster if they're not good enough to uphold the Dodgers standard? There's not one player on that field that's not good enough to produce the way that we expect our Dodgers to produce. Now, I'm not saying like win 80% of your games, but here's the part about, okay, every team in baseball, every team, every year is going to go through a stretch that I've mentioned 2 or 3 times to where it feels like just nothing's in sync. One day you pitch well, but you don't hit. The next day you hit well, but then you don't pitch. Some days you don't hit or pitch. Some days you hit and pitch and still lose. It's just nothing's in sync. It seems like everything that can go wrong does. Every single team, every year, goes through that patch. It's like a great hitter. Any hitter. All hitters are going to go through those streaks to where it just seems like either they can't hit the ball hard, they're not seeing the ball seems heavy, it looks smaller, and then when they finally do barrel one up and hit one 105 miles an hour, it's hit right at somebody. Every hitter goes through those patches. The best hitters minimize those patches, right? I mean, the best hitters, their floors are a lot higher because their patches to where they're not hitting the ball are way, way, way shorter than your average hitter. That should be the Dodgers. I'm not frustrated about the fact the Dodgers are going through this stretch. I'm not surprised by it. It absolutely is what it is. It's the game of baseball. What I'm disappointed in is the length that it's been going on. This crap's been going on for a while now. And to be honest with you, the Dodgers have squeaked out some games this year by, I don't know, they're good, but I mean, they have 34 comeback wins. Okay, now give the Dodgers 100% credit for that. The Dodgers deserve all that credit, okay? There's no doubt about that. So I'm not going to take any of that credit away from the Dodgers. Hey, I just put the link in TikTok. I'm going to put the link again here in YouTube. If you want to join the show like Bruce did, come on and give your thoughts. Click that link and I will link you directly into the show and we will get after it. We'll have a lot of fun. You can come give your thoughts here on Dodgers Dawgs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network. So I'm not surprised at all about the fact that the Dodgers are going through the stretch. What I'm surprised about is how long it's lasted. Why have we not figured out any answers? I like the fact that Dave Roberts moved Mookie Betts up to lead off. And here's why, okay? I've always been a big believer that the way to provide confidence in somebody is to show support, not a lack of support. So trust me, where a hitter hits in the lineup has a mental effect on them. They can say it doesn't all they want. But I promise you, the first thing that every single player does every time they look at the lineup is they look at where they're hitting in the batting order. Of all the problems I've ever had, it's been, well, my so-and-so's hitting here and here and here and here, okay? And so when you move a guy up in the lineup, that is a message without you ever having to open your mouth that you're telling that player, I am happy with the way you're performing. Keep it up. I'm rewarding you by moving you up because I want you to get more at bats. I want you to be more in the action because you have been a good hitter. On the vice versa, when you move a hitter down in the lineup, you're telling them, well, I'm trying to give you fewer at bats because you're not hitting the ball very good, and that's why I'm doing this. That is a 100% show of a lack of support, okay? So I am a huge fan of when you have a really good player, a Hall of Fame player. Now, your role players are your role players. To hell with it. If they get pissy about where they're hitting or where they're playing, go find a different role player. It's that simple, okay? You're a role player. You play where you're told you play. You hit in the batting, the part of the order you hit. You see that's in the order, and you play your role. That's what you are. You're a role player. If you want to think that you're something else than a role player, then hit the ball or play better, something like that. But if you're a role player, there's no margin for complaining. But when you're one of the main players, the Mookies, the Shoheis, the Freddies, the Wills, the Teos, now the Andys, the Edmonds, where Doc puts them in the lineup when they're struggling. Now, on a daily basis, like when he's trying to make matchups, that's a wholly different situation. But in the Mookie situation, what Doc is doing for Mookie is he is showing support. Now, you can say, hey, protection, this, that, whatever. Freddie was protecting Mookie. Will was protecting Freddie. Teo and Max were protecting Freddie, or Will, okay? The protection thing, that's bonkers. That's BS, okay? What Dave is doing for Mookie is he's showing support. Hey, you're one of our dudes. You've always been one of our dudes. You're a Hall of Famer. You're awesome. We are going to do whatever it takes, Mookie, to get you back to being the dude that we need you to be. I don't care if that means moving the greatest player of our generation to two-hole and giving him less at-bats because we're moving him to the two-hole. You mean that much to us, and you are that much of a dude that we are going to move you up to the leadoff spot in front of Shohei Ohtani so we can get you back to being a dude. That's what that is. That's a show of support. That's a, hey, Mookie, you're a dude. We're going to figure it out, okay? Here, go be the leadoff and go do something good. Now, if you watch Mookie right now, he's definitely pressing. Baseball is a very hard game. Mark Watkins mentioned this the other day. You know, in football and a lot of times defensively in basketball, you can just kind of raise your energy level and, you know, kind of get hyped and start playing better. In baseball, that makes it worse. I mean, you hype yourself up, you get too excited, your muscles tense up. It doesn't work. It's a soft focus. I mean, it's a big focus. It's like Kevin Costner, you know, clear the mechanisms. It's like you don't even notice anything. Like a lot of times whenever you get a base hit, you don't even, it's like a crash or something. It's like you don't even remember you do remember it, but you don't. It's like you're running to first base. You just don't quite remember the whole sequence because it was just all instinctual. And so that's where Mookie has to get back to. Whenever you press, you're trying, instead of being instinctual towards it, you're trying to put human element into it. And whenever you start putting human element into trying to make decisions in tenths of a second to hit a round ball with a round bat, that doesn't work out very well. Everything in hitting has to be reactionary. It has to be instinctual. And all of the human element work has to have been done before you go up to the plate. Otherwise, it's, hey, let's just see it and hit it and let's see what happens. So, again, if I go off on tangents tonight, I do apologize for that because I got lots to say. Frustrated, yes. Not down on the team. Not scared, not worried, not any of that. Just, it's a boiling over frustration right now. And again, it's another one of those deals to where it just seems like everywhere you go, you take one step over here, two steps back. And I can't tell you how many different teams and how many different seasons, great teams that I've been either a part of as a player or as a coach that you turn and you go, okay, well, what do we do here? And nobody has an answer. You don't have an answer. Players don't have an answer. Your boss doesn't have an answer. So the only answer really at that point is to keep showing up day after day. This is why you hear the term all the time, trust the process. That's all, and that's because that's all you can do. I mean, it's literally all, you can't just go out there and go, hey, let's go. Let's get all fired up. Let's get in a football mentality. Let's start blowing snot out of our nose like a bull. You can't do that. You got to trust the process. Just keep putting your work in. Keep chopping wood. Keep grinding, as they say. And as you keep putting your work in and you keep trusting the process, you slowly wait for it to turn. That's the process, is that you keep the process. When you say trust the process, that means put the work in every day and let it naturally turn. That's what I'm talking about with Mookie. He's trying to force it. He's got to let it naturally turn. And if that means not a great year, hey, and here's the thing that's frustrating. You're not in control when that thing turns. However fast it takes you to get in or out of a slump, you're not in control of that. Now, your talent might be, but from a mental perspective, let's try a little harder here. You're not in control of that. You can't just say, I'm going to try a little bit harder today and go 4 for 4. That's not how it works. So you're not in control of how long it takes that process to turn, which is some people, and it looks to me like Mookie right now, gets gets impatient with how long the process is taking. Then they start pressing. And then not only do you go back to the beginning of your process, you actually go past zero, and now you've actually taken steps backwards. That's what you got to avoid. That's where I think a couple of guys right now are on the Dodgers. So we have a great crowd logged in both on TikTok and YouTube. One reminder again, I'm going to post this link here. If you want to join the show like Bruce did, Bruce, we had a comment, class act, man. Bruce, great job. You did a wonderful job. Great perspective on the show tonight, coming on and talking about Dodgers baseball in a way that we can all relate to and with a great perspective. So, Bruce Davis, thank you so much for joining the show today. First one ever. Thank you so much for your great perspective. Hey, Ozzie Morrison says Roberts is soft. I would totally disagree with that. Roberts should have 3 world championships at this point. Now, Roberts is positive. Here's where I think a lot of people, they read Dave wrong, okay? I think Dave is very positive. I think he's a guy that's not going to run around and yell and holler like a lot of us grew up. Like to a lot of us growing up in the amateur ranks, what coaching is if you make a mistake, you get yelled at. That's what a lot of us have had in terms of experiences as coaches. Well, if you've actually had a really good professional coach that teaches and instructs you and works with you and supports you through the hard times, gets you back to the good times, and is always in your corner and is never beating you while you're down. Because typically speaking, when coaches are hollering at you, there's a couple of things that are happening there. They're either trying to motivate you through intimidation, which is a horrible way to manage baseball, because if you try to intimidate people in baseball, you make them scared, and when they get scared, they're afraid to fail. Then you get a really watered down version of what they're capable of. So you're either trying to intimidate somebody into doing what you want them to do, or you're just making yourself feel better by hollering and screaming. You're letting your own emotions out, and as you're hollering and screaming, somehow that's making you feel better, which is why after really tough losses, I never even talked to the team after the game. I would always wait till the next day till I could clear my brain, till they could clear their brain, and then we would talk right before our next workout about all the things we did wrong in a level-headed, cool-minded way, and then I would bring up all of the things we did wrong right before they could go out and do something about it in a practice setting. So what you're seeing with Dave Roberts, in my opinion, is somebody that doesn't holler and scream, somebody that doesn't beat his players down whenever they're at their low moments, and you see a very positive human being because Dave has played this game on the margins. Dave was not a superstar. Dave was one who had to – all you need to know about Dave Roberts is his career and what he had to do to keep a major league career, okay? He knows that if you look at the negative side of everything, you're going to fail. You are not going to be the player you should be. So I think Dave keeps a very positive outlook. I think he keeps a very calm outlook because only so often – of course, we see it like the Augie Garrido meltdown. We saw the Jim Leland deal with Barry Bonds, and those are great. But I promise you, as a leader of grown men, a leader of Hall of Famers, a leader of a group of baseball players who were all better than you were, or most of them were, you only have a couple of bullets to fire in terms of walking into a locker room and pitching a hissy fit, throwing stuff, hollering and screaming. That might work once, and then it might work every once in a while, but that's just about it. So Dave is not soft. Dave is positive. Dave is supportive, and Dave knows how hard this game is, and he is going to support his players through the hard times, and he's going to support them all the way back to the good times, which is what he's doing with Mookie, which is my point with him, moving him to the one hole. This is a show of support from Dave Roberts. That's stud stuff to me. From a former manager and player, that's stuff that is impressive to me. I like that. So I think that's the right move from Dave Roberts. So I will push back on that, Ozzie Morrison. I don't think he's soft. I just think he's very positive and supportive. Bob Tan, instead of talking Ohtani, is proving it with his action. He still does shadow batting, checking his stance and checking his swing in the dugout. If Shohei Ohtani, the biggest star in the sport, does it, then everybody else can. So if you look at a hitter on deck, they should be getting their exact timing down on the pitcher while they're on deck, and it should sync up pretty well with the hitter at the plate. So the greatest hitters do it, just like I hear a lot of young hitters go, well, why in the hell am I hitting on a tee? This is boring. I mean, it's just sitting there. Who can't hit? I don't know. It's good enough for Barry Bonds. It's good enough for every single professional that I've ever seen do hitting work. They all hit off of a tee. Now, they hit off of a moving ball too, but similar concept. I mean, it's all part of the process. It's all part of putting your work in. Hey, O'Donnell boy, Kirsch probably feels the urgency of winning it all the most. Naturally, he will feel the most frustration in losing. And with all that, O'Donnell boy, comes the most amount of responsibility to lead the proper way. Okay? Now, hey, everybody loses it from time to time. I've lost it where I'm just out of my mind. I'm saying crap I shouldn't be saying, definitely saying stuff I don't mean, having to apologize. Everybody does that. And when you're in the heat of the moment and when you're with people you're in the foxhole with, the next day, if they're competitive like you, they're like, you don't need to apologize. I get it. You lost it. You're competitive. I get it. So that aspect of it, it's not going to be a big deal. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is somebody needs to regroup the emotions, get it all together, don't point fingers, and let's get in the foxhole together, win, lose, or draw, and if somebody makes a mistake, somebody else needs to have their back. That's how this needs to work moving forward. And the Dodgers still have a 3-game lead, which is frustrating. Class Act Bruce says, Mr. Summer Obe, way to go, buddy. I totally agree, Mr. Summer Obe. Bruce Davis was simply fantastic. Also, you join the show. Click the link that I have put in the chat right there. Click that link. I will get you in, and we will make you a co-host. I just clicked that link on both YouTube and the TikTok side. We have a great crowd on TikTok. I want to thank all of you wonderful TikTokers out there for joining Dodgers Dogs as Dodgers Daily Network. Kind of a rant night. You know, I talked about just a minute ago how when coaches holler and scream, a lot of times it's just to make themselves feel better. Well, when I go on a rant like this, I think that's probably what's happening with me. I'm just making myself feel better after a long weekend of baseball where the Dodgers were oh so close, but oh so far away. Doesn't it feel like that? Hey, Vin, dang, I missed that, Bruce. I'm going to go back and watch it. Yeah, Bruce was an absolute rock star. Rock star, Bruce. That was rock star type stuff. That was the perfect example, Bruce, of how Dodgers Dogs, as part of the Dodgers Daily Network, is the best chat on earth, period. Your time on this show is a perfect example of that. So thank you so much, Bruce. I hope you join every time that I open that link. You're also welcome to come back on if you like. So, hey, JRM, Bruce Davis, yes, maybe they believe they can turn it on in September and October. Maybe. I have seen guys and I have seen teams that can flip a switch. The Dodgers 2017, that was the one I was going to bring up with Bruce while he was talking. That, hey, we've done this before. Bruce, you're exactly right. How about 2017 when the Dodgers lost, 87 games in a row and then flipped the switch? And by the way, yes, Dave has 2 world championships, but as Blake Trinan said so remarkably well, Dave Roberts has 3 world championships. He has 1 stolen from him. Try that on for size. 3 world championships. That's pretty awesome. Gregory, the Dodgers just don't match up well against Milwaukee. So Milwaukee, they put the ball in play. They steal bases. They don't have a great batting average, but yet they have a huge on-base percentage. They have good starting pitching, great relief pitching. I love watching the Brewers play. It's like watching the 1980 Cardinals, the 1980s Cardinals teams all over again. Not quite as much speed, but they steal a lot of bases. It is I got to admit, if you can't tell, I hate watching the Dodgers lose. It sucks. Losing sucks. It absolutely sucks. I hate it, okay? But let me take my Dodgers hat off for a minute. Let me just put on my baseball hat. I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed watching the Brewers play. Not that they're kicking the Dodgers' ass, but just seeing that brand of baseball and going, yeah, see, hey, winning baseball plays, putting the freaking ball in play, throwing strikes, stealing bases, having a high on-base percentage, not relying on home runs, that crap wins. And by the way, of course, we know that Milwaukee's on a heater. The Dodgers caught them at a terrible time. The Dodgers caught the Brewers. Yes, the Brewers swept the Dodgers in 6 games. There's nothing I can defend about that. If a Brewers fan wants to come on here and say the Brewers are better than the Dodgers, I can't push back. You just kicked their ass 6 games in a row. I can't defend my Dodgers in that vein. What I would say to a Brewers fan is, this is the best heater the Brewers will go on all year. Heater, when I say that, I mean like a good streak. This is the lowest point the Dodgers will be at all year. So this was just bad timing. So let's say it was opposite and the Dodgers are playing their best baseball of the year and the Brewers are playing their worst. I'll say this. I don't think the Dodgers would have won all 6 games. So from that aspect, if you want to say the Brewers are the better team than the Dodgers, especially right now, I'm not going to push back against you. Matter of fact, I'm going to make the statement myself. The Brewers are a better baseball team than the Los Angeles Dodgers on June or July 20th, 2025. Somebody push back against that. Where's that? How is that wrong? When I make that statement that right now on July 20th, 2025, the Brewers are a better baseball team than the Los Angeles Dodgers, push back. Tell me why I'm wrong there. How is that wrong? So, hey, what a great crowd we have logged in on both YouTube and TikTok. We have a great crowd logged in on Instagram. Hey, Aaron Santos 21 says this is not acceptable, and I don't think it will stay that way. It's going to turn. Like I said, the problem is, especially as fans, players, managers, you're not in control of how long it lasts. I mean, that's why you have guys that are called aces that say, give me the damn ball. We're going to go out and win a damn game day, okay? So the next starting pitcher not only needs to go out and take the ball and be a stopper, that pitcher also needs to get the team together and go, you know what, boys? Give me one damn run today and our asses are winning. Let's go. Okay? We ain't losing this freaking game. I'm taking the ball. I'm shoving it up their ass. You guys are going to go out there and you're going to score enough runs and we're going to win a freaking game. You got it? That's what's happening today. Understood? Okay? So I don't need much. I just need something, guys. Give me something and we're going to go win. That's what the next pitcher needs to do. And then they need to go out and back it up like Shohei Ohtani is capable of doing, like Yoshinobu Yamamoto is capable of doing, like Clayton Kershaw is capable of doing. Not quite sure where we're at with Dustin May. We'll see how that goes. Hey, Ben, 1988, focus on why the Dodgers were great. 1, working counts, yes. 2, going first to third, yes. 3, better defense, yes. A part of that is you have freaking Esteury Ruiz in left field and you haven't solved third base. That's another problem of it. And then I will say this. I have never been afraid to go after the best players on your team. If you are scared to call out the best players of your team, you are not going to have a team. You're going to have a country club, okay? So if you're going to call out Esteury Ruiz for booting a ball in left field, then you got to call out Clayton Kershaw for walking the leadoff hitter in the inning. If you're going to call out Andy Pages for missing a routine fly ball, then you also have to call out the fact that, in my opinion, with a runner rounding third base, Freddie Freeman needs to stop that ball. We've seen him make great plays, and I would not have been surprised if he would have caught that ball, made the play, and got the last out, just like he did on the double play against the Royals. I would not have been surprised if he would have made a great play. Don't get me wrong. But having said that, the way that things are going right now, stop the damn ball, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and say that was a mental mistake by Freddie. Once the ball's offline, once you know you have guys rounding third base, heading home, you cannot let that ball get past you. It's like an infielder with a runner at second base. So you have a ground ball, and they stop the ball, but they don't get the runner out at first base. But you know what they did do? They stopped the runner that started at second base and is rounding third from scoring, which means now you still have a chance to throw the next pitch and keep them from scoring. So, my opinion, mental mistake. Freddie Freeman has to stop that ball instead of trying to pick that ball, especially considering the circumstances. I think Dino and Andy made both the correct decision. Andy had no choice. Dino was throttling Andy down, And you can tell Dino's very animated with Andy. Dino's not going to let Andy make base running mistakes. There is no leeway with Andy Pages in game-winning situations when he's running the bases when it comes to Dino Ebel. If you don't believe me, watch Dino Ebel's his mannerisms and how monstrative he is whenever Andy Pages is running the bases. He was shutting Andy Pages down, and he was not giving Andy Pages a choice. I think Andy Pages could have scored on the ball that Andrew Vaughn missed at first base, which, by the way, he just stretched too soon. Weird play. As soon as he missed it, I was like, oh, this game's tied. And I'm like, oh, snap. Why in the hell didn't we score the 6th run? And then they show the replay, and you see that there's no way for Dino Ebel to know what's going to happen there. Now, I'll say this. If the ball comes down low in that same situation, if the ball is low and you know it's going to short hop, as a third base coach, you know it's going to be one of two things. Either the first baseman's going to pick it and the game's going to be over, or the first baseman's going to miss it, and at that point the ball is going to scoot away probably 6, 7, 8 feet away from the first baseman. And so as soon as you see the ball low, it's like a base runner. Whenever you see the ball low, you just take off, go to the next base, because even the catcher blocks it if it scoots away 2, 3 feet away from him. If you have gone on the trajectory and you have moved to second base based on the fact that you know the ball is going to bounce, then Pages would have scored. But that ball wasn't low. That ball was catchable. There's no way that Dino Ebel could look at that throw from Ortiz coming from shortstop and go, oh, well, he might miss that. And if he does miss that, it's going to squirt away 8 feet from him. And as it squirts away 8 feet, Andy can score. There's absolutely no possible way that Dino Ebel could have read into that. So it was tough luck that Pages didn't score. And here's another aspect of that. You also, as a third base coach, have to put into the equation who's up next. And I know he's struggling. I get it. But it's Mookie freaking Betts. You don't send Andy Pages home and get his ass thrown out at home plate with Mookie Betts, a Hall of Famer, on deck. So you just don't do that. So it was tough. Pages would have scored if he was cranked the whole time, but you just can't do that in that situation. There was no way that Dino Ebel could have read that. Hey, Tokata DJ, how did the show support when he benched him yesterday after a week's break? How did he show support when he benched him yesterday after a week's break? Oh, he's talking about Mookie Betts. Because that's all part of the process, Tokata, of trying to find out exactly what we can do to get Mookie. He wasn't benching him to say, you suck, you're competing for your position, we're upset with you, we can't deal with your lack of production. That wasn't why he benched Mookie. As a matter of fact, it was the exact opposite. He benched Mookie for the same reason he moved him up to one hole. He's trying to give Mookie every type of possibility to get things figured out. He benched Mookie to give him a little bit of rest, to give him a reset, to let him think about things so he can be the great version of Mookie. That in itself is a show of support. I promise you, when Dave brought Mookie in to tell him, he was like, hey, man, I promise you the words out of Dave Roberts' mouth was, hey, we love you. We're gonna give you a day off. We're gonna let you think about it. Hopefully the day off, and then we're gonna put you in the lead off the next day. Hopefully we're gonna change these things up. Next thing you know, it's the Mookie that we know. So that was, in my opinion, although it seems counterintuitive, benching Mookie was the same concept of putting him in one hole. It was a show of support. So at least that's my experience in the game, and just knowing the way that Dave operates, that would be my opinion on that. Oh, Donnie boy, Casey on a rant is like baseball church, and I'm here for it. Well, I appreciate that, oh, Donnie boy. Certainly makes me feel better. And hey, if you want to join the show and go on a rant yourself, I'm going to post that link right there. Click that link and come on into the show, and we will get you into the show. Bruce Davis, you are welcome. Come on every time that we have a show. Loved having you on. Hey, Vin 1988, dang, I missed Bruce. Hey, JRM, Bruce says, JRM, I believe when we are at full strength, we'll be okay down the stretch. That's a very good perspective. Hey, Chuck Huddleston, who out there actually is better at managing superstars and game strategies? Totally agree, Chuck. Most of managing major leagues, of course, the analytics, but it's managing egos. Totally agree. Vin says Roberts is a Hall of Fame coach because of what you described. He finds the positives and knows when to air it out. Totally agree. And right now, he needs to support the Dodgers now more than ever. Now, there's a difference between supporting and enabling, okay? I can tell you I support my kids. Supported my own kid, okay? But I did not enable them to take advantage of that support. There is a huge difference between support and enabling. If you are enabling, meaning you're just trying to be somebody's friend, then you're enabling, okay? That is no bueno. No bueno whatsoever. I got no use for that. So absolutely no enabling. Support all day. If it borderlines enabling, like, hey, man. So there are times to where you got to walk up to somebody and go, hey, man, it's not acceptable. Get your shit together. We're not putting up with this crap. Now, I can't imagine there ever being a scenario where you need to do that to Mookie or Freddie or Shohei or anything like that. But there are times to where when they're producing in a certain way, you got to walk up to them and go, hey, man, we need more of you. Sorry, man. I mean, I don't mean to be rude. I don't mean to piss you off. I don't mean to be anything other than truthful. And if we want to win the World Series, you got to be better, brother. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. There are times to where you have to hold them accountable, right? And I definitely think management and Dave does that. So there's a huge difference between supporting and enabling. I have never seen a scenario where Dave has enabled. I would say it all comes out as support. But hey, that's subjective. Everybody might have a different opinion on that. So what is your opinion? Hey, Casey, I said we need to support them. Yes, now everybody does. No doubt about that. Hey, Team Ruiz, who is the manager of this team, Mookie or Dave? Yeah, Dave is 100% the manager of this team. Deuce, the question is, if 2025 Mookie is still a Hall of Fame level player, I'm a bit worried because he's under contract until 2032. That is why when in the offseason people want Juan Soto, they want all these guys that are on these long-ass contracts, and the Dodgers, other than the Hall of Fame guys, which we're seeing is even risky for them, man, that's why the Dodgers don't like to go the long-term contracts. We saw one with Yoshinobu Yamamoto, but he's young. I mean, he's 26 years old. Hey, Team Ruiz says put Dave Roberts on an average team and see if he could manage them. I think Dave Roberts will be a better manager on a average team because I think the positive aspect, I can tell you I was an average player, okay? Everything I did was average. I had terrible body. Everything I did was average. And I can tell you the more supportive type manager worked better for me than the manager that wanted to holler and scream and tell me about I sucked all day long. So I would say this, Team Ruiz, I think Dave Roberts would be an even better manager on a team full of average players than he is on a team full of all-stars, because he would take those average players and he would show them support, and those average players would gain confidence from that. And all of a sudden, those average players would turn into above average players. And if you do that with every single player on your roster, now you actually have a pretty good team. If you want to see an example of that, just look at Pat Murphy and the team we played today, okay? He has a bunch of, I don't know, I mean, Andrew Vaughn has been a flop with the White Sox pretty much for that point. Their shortstop can't hit. I mean, Churios, good player. But, I mean, they don't have superstars. But you take a manager that supports them, that actually focuses on what they do well, and then tells them what they need to get better at, and then gives them the opportunity in workouts to get better at it. Then all of a sudden you start seeing a team like the Brewers actually start performing better. Tommy Edman has been a very average player offensively forever. He came to the Dodgers last year, became a really, really nice offensive player. We've seen that with several different players under the tutelage and under the management of Dave Roberts, who have been very average or bad everywhere else, but have performed very well for the Dodgers and under Dave Roberts. So I would push back a little bit on that. Jeff Roll, bottom line is our defense is mid to bad way too often. Okay, so when you put Michael Conforto in left, Andy Paz in center, and Teo Hernandez in right field, don't complain to me when you're telling me that your defense is bad. When Max Muncy's your third baseman and your backup option is Tommy Edman, okay? I guess Kike, but he's hurt. But if Kike Hernandez getting hurt affects your team this much, then your roster's not constructed well. So here's my point. And I said this in the offseason. Go back and look at the receipts. Hey, are you worried about, is this a good enough defense? Oh, we'll hit enough. Oh, we'll hit enough. And then my response always was, well, you don't always hit enough in baseball. It's a hard game. Dodgers aren't hitting enough right now. We're seeing that right now. Okay, I'm going to slide this to the right there. Okay, so let me verify that right there. Unable to verify. See if we can do this one more time right here. Unable to verify. I think I'm getting ready to lose my, let's see if I can do this. Give me 1 second. I gotta get this going here. And okay, let me do this right here. See if that works on TikTok right there. And then let me know if you have any questions. 1 second here. Let me know if you have any questions. And let me see if I can get this puzzle done. And let's see if it will take that over right there. We have detected inactivity during your current live. Complete the verification. Oh, right there. Okay, right there. Okay. Okay, so we're good right there. I think I got that done just in time. Okay, so I said all offseason, you don't always hit. And in the playoffs, you don't always hit. What wins in the playoffs is pitching. A lot of time, we saw the Brewers, their pitching. Ortiz is awesome, right? Their defense. And hell, he made awesome plays. What, to start the ninth inning? I mean, are you kidding me? Then he should have ended the game. So one of my big questions all offseason was, are you good with Teo, Conforto, and Pages in your outfield? You good with that? Max Muncy at third base? Are you good with that being your defense? Oh, yeah, we'll hit enough. Oh, yeah, we'll hit enough. That was consensus. Well, now we're not hitting enough, and the defense is what it is, okay? I mean, Tommy Edman's not a third baseman. He's played good over there, but Esteury Ruiz, okay, he's a minor leaguer. I have a hard time getting upset with him when he's just trying to go make a play, okay? But this was something that was foreseeable, that the defense was not going to be great. And so now that the offense isn't great, now you notice it more because there's been games in the past where the defense wasn't great, but then the Dodgers have 34 comeback wins, and by the time you come back and win a game, you forget all about the defense, which was kind of the plan that most fans had in the offseason. We'll overcome it all. Well, we're not right now. So the question is, do you go overboard and do you try to correct that defense by going and getting a defense? Well, that guy would be James Outman. We saw that the other day. You could put James Outman in center field, Andy Pages in right field, Teo in left, or whoever you want to put in left, and the defense would get a hell of a lot better automatically, okay, in the outfit especially. But I think if you asked 100 Dodgers fans, I think you might find 2 or 3 that would be in favor of that. So that was the deal you made with the devil by trying to be such an offensive team. And to be honest with you, that's why the Michael Conforto thing has been so baffling, is that it pins you into playing bad defense. It pins you into guaranteeing that you're going to have Teo and Conforto in the same outfield and then a center fielder who's been good defensively, but is better in right field. It kind of pinned you into that situation. That's why that's been kind of baffling, and that's why we've mentioned that several different times. Deuce says they are building a lineup around slug and offense. That's why the defense is bad. Yeah, so no doubt about it. Team Ruiz says, sorry, I have to disagree. Hey, that's great, man. That's exactly what this show is for. You tell me your opinion. Matter of fact, Team Ruiz, come on the show and give your thoughts on the show, and let's have a good conversation. That's exactly what this show is for everybody to get your opinion out, and we discuss it in a respectful way. You hear my side, I hear yours. Maybe I turn a little bit on your way. Maybe we don't. Who knows? But that's the fun part of it to me, is that war room part of it. Chuck Huddleston says Roberts is one of the best clubhouse managers I've seen for the Dodgers in my time. Lasorda was similar with managing personalities. He has the players' respect, which is difficult. He definitely has the players' respect. I know that for a fact. Bruce Davis, after Bellinger left, I wanted Friedman to bring in the center fielder. Yeah, well, Pages has been pretty good this year. I'll say that. You had one really good year 2 years ago from Outman. Last year was a struggle. So you've had good center field play the last 2 out of 3 years. You didn't necessarily have it last year. Jeff Roll, Brewers have bat the ball. I love watching them play. I love their offensive style. We have guys who strike out way too much. I agree. Matter of fact, I think the Dodgers are second or third in all of the major leagues in strikeouts. Team Ruiz that's where we're at right there. I got to scroll up. I got to go to the bottom and keep scrolling up. Hey, team, we're talking about Dave there still. Jeff Roll, I know what he's saying, and 9 times out of 10 he does pick. Okay, Freddie. Yeah, Freddie will tell you he should have made the play, but it happens way too often. I agree that, hey, Freddie makes that play a lot. I don't think 9 out of 10. I think that was a tough one. I think maybe 50-50. My point is you got to sell out to stop it, not pick it. You cannot, at worst case scenario, you can't let that ball get by you. That's all I'm saying there. Hey, Vin 1988, yes, Brewers are beating up the Dodgers. Almost half of their guys are rookies. Good point there. Jeff Roll, Freddie has saved way too many runs to blame Edmonds' bad throw on. I'm not blaming him, Jeff. I am saying that that's a mental mistake to not stop the ball. I'm not blaming him necessarily, but I am saying that with that the game on the line like that, you can't let that ball get by you. Whether you choose to pick it or whether you choose to come off the bag and treat it like a catcher and stop it, either way, the ball has to get stopped, and I would say Freddie would be the first one to admit that. It would be no different than, let me put it this way. If a hitter hit a ground ball and the game was on the line and a fielder decided to play the backhand to it instead of getting in front of the ball, and then the ball went over his glove and it scored the runs instead of keeping the runner at third base, I think there would be an argument to make that you could make the argument that the player should have gotten in front of the ball since they had time to, and made it to where there's a situation to where at the very least you don't get the out, but the run doesn't score. So we'll disagree on that, but that's okay. Hey, Tien Yang, hi, Mr. Casey. How do you improve the batting order and the defense? Are the players playing out of position? The way you improve the defense, you move Paez to right, you put somebody else in center, you put Teo in left. You solve the third base situation. Edmund in center probably, Kim at second base. Go get a third baseman, whether it be Max Muncy or not. To me, that's how you solve the defensive aspect of that. Hey, Vin says the only reason Casey is Dodgers are having to run out rookies all over the field. Yeah. Hey, Tony Forkas said, hey, good evening, Tony Forkas. Thank you so much for joining. It affected his offense and then created that domino in the lineup as well. He's talking about Mookie Betts, I believe. I can't believe that. Oh, no, Muncy. I can't believe that Muncy was that valuable that the team collapsed when he got hurt. I don't think they did. I think it's just a bad patch, and I think the loss of Muncy is just timing. I don't think the loss of Muncy has anything to do with Freddie and Mookie. Okay? I mean, them going cold. And if Freddie and Mookie are cold, I don't think the loss of Muncy had anything to do with Tommy Edman being hurt. I don't think the loss of Muncy has anything to do with Teo not hitting the ball the way he's capable of. I think those are completely independent situations, and that's just the timing. Muncy happened to get hurt while all these guys went cold too, and it was the perfect storm of suck. I think that's kind of what happened. That's the way I see that. So JRM says too much talent on this team for them to be outclassed in the past 15 games or so. It's a patch. It's a longer patch than this roster should have, though. Hey, Vin, probably the only thing we have going for us is that we have the most comeback wins. Yeah, I think part of that is covering up some of the issues that this team's had all year because they've come back and win, and we're so results-driven, you overlook some of the issues that have always been there, but we're glossed over because you did come back and win. Now, imagine if you only had 17 comeback wins, which is a lot, by the way. 17 comeback wins is a lot. Imagine if you only had half of those. Where would the Dodgers be? That's kind of what I'm saying. So have those comeback wins. Now, again, you got to give the Dodgers all the credit for that. Those comeback wins, have they glossed over some issues that the Dodgers have had all year that are manifesting now because you're not getting those comeback wins? Because yesterday and today, you fell one run short instead of actually winning the game. Hey, J Sports 79 says Paez is going to get better in the outfield. Yeah, he's already gotten a lot better this year. I totally agree with that. And by the way, hey, J Sports and Justin Dad and Eduardo Munoz and Free Kobe and Sebastian Adama, all you guys and gals out there, I just posted the link. Yeah, it says Paez is great. I just posted the link. If you want to join the show, be a co-host for a couple minutes, give your thoughts, click that link and log in, and we will get you on the show. Hey, Elishiva, is the rumor regarding Dodgers' interest in Quan and Clase legit rumors? Well, yeah, I'm sure they want Clase. But I'll say this. There is no human being, media-wise, outside of Freeman, Roberts, the inside group, that has any freaking clue about trades right now. So if somebody's going on and saying, hey, I'm hearing, what that is they're trying to draw interest to their show. It's that simple. They don't know. Hearing from who? And then whoever they heard it from. So Andrew Friedman just leaked it. I mean, have you ever known the Dodgers to do that, really? I mean, so somebody's saying that they've heard that the Dodgers are going after hell yeah, they're going after everybody they think that can help their team. Hell, you could say that about Bobby Witt Jr. They're not going to get him. I mean, but you can say that. I mean, I can say that my goal is to be a major league manager. I can say that. I can say that the Dodgers considered me for a position. That doesn't mean it's true, but I can still say it. But just knowing the way the Dodgers operate with injuries, the way they operate with their I mean, look at the trades last year. Literally, Jack Flaherty went down to what? 11:59 and 59 seconds. Nobody knows. So, I mean, those are just all rumors. Those are just all things people are saying, trying to create excitement, trying to create a talking point, that kind of thing. I will not believe anybody who says that hey, I've heard we're going after this guy or that guy or whatever. That's me. You're welcome to buy into all that I've heard stuff. I'm not personally going to. That's also why I never do it. That's also why I don't get into the hearsay part of things. Unless I know something to be the case, I will not make a statement on it, or I will say I have zero inside information on this, so take it for face value. Take it whether you trust my opinion based on how well I know how the organization operates. Those are the two different statements I make, and those are the only types that I would believe. Deuce Muncy got hurt when he was hot. No one would have cared if he got hurt when he wasn't hitting. I totally agree with that. Hey, Danny Pang, thank you so much for joining. Do we have incompetent batting coaches? No, we don't, especially at the minor league level. The Dodgers have had the best offense in baseball for a long time now, if not the best offense in baseball year after year after year. Certainly one of them. Now, the talent helps, but it's not incompetent coaching. If you're gonna say that about the bad streaks, then you have to ask, do we have the best hitting coaches in the world when the Dodgers are putting up the best numbers, which they've done for most of the year. JRM, I think the analytics prevents Doc from playing smart situational ball. I agree. That's why Coach Holt and I talk about all the time. I don't think it's all the time, JRM. When he left Trinan in last year, he wasn't using analytics. And there's times where he doesn't use analytics. I think today he did, and that frustrated me, and I gave my opinion on that, especially when the team is struggling to score runs. I agree with you there. Bruce Davis, I don't want Kim in center field. I want him as second or short. I agree with you there. Jeff Roll says we suck at situational hitting. Well, hey, our first run today was a double by Andy Pages, and then he moved him to third. We moved him home. So there was some situational hitting there, but overall I do agree with you, Jeff Roll. I wouldn't say we suck at situational hitting. I would say there's not enough organizational focus on it. I think there's more focus on slug. So I wouldn't say we suck at it. I would just say there's not enough focus on it. The game last night at 4 and we have runners at third with no outs. Don't get that runner in, which would have put us up 5-4. Yep. We do that to the other teams too. And I also think that's just kind of the trend of Major League Baseball right now. Bruce says Dodgers got to stop swinging for the fences, base hit, bunt, do other things like the Brewers did this weekend. I totally agree with that. And like Elishi was saying, the Brewers are very hot right now. Tommy Lasorda is in the TikTok house. It's July. I'm not overly worried. That was pretty much exactly what Bruce said when he came on live. And if you want to come on live, click that link and we'll get you in. Hey, Chuck Uddleston, it's like Conforto has some leverage on management. Yeah. The JRM says, does the analytics handcuff Doc in small ball situations? I just don't think they work on it. I mean, he doesn't have any proof with his eyes. I think it's the opposite. He doesn't have any proof away from analytics that so-and-so is going to get the bunt down. Whenever you say bunt, that doesn't guarantee they're actually going to get the bunt down. And then it doesn't guarantee if they do get the bunt down, they're actually going to move the runner. And I don't think they work on it enough for Dave to have evidence in his mind to say, hey, I trust this guy to go up and bunt and to move the runner, then I trust the guy on deck to situationally hit. Do you? Who on the team do you trust to bunt and then back to back in the order? Who do you trust to bunt, and then who do you trust behind that to situational hit? So if you're Doc, which combination of two guys do you trust? That's kind of my question. So I think it's the opposite of trusting too much analytics. I think there's just no proof in his eyes that he sees that our guys actually are prepared to do that. So let's get back to the bottom of this. Austin Barnes used to be effective at the bunt, yes. Hey, Ela Shiva says, Casey, we currently have 39 men on the 40-man roster. Who do you predict to be the 40th spot? Could be Alex Freeland. I think they might be waiting to see how much Max Muncy is doing. That's going to be speculation on my part, but you asked me what my thoughts are. I think Alex Freeland could be a good person to bring up in that situation, or a trade, definitely a trade. If you leave one spot open, then it doesn't have to be a one-for-one trade. You can trade for somebody to add to your 40-man, and then you can trade somebody else that's not on your 40-man and still be okay. If your entire 40-man roster is full, you only have a couple choices. Either trade somebody one-for-one away from your 40-man to bring in for your 40-man, or DFA somebody. So that gives you leverage in the trade market. Hey, Jeff Roll, but if you say they don't work on it, how about maybe we should work on it? Hey, totally agree. You're not going to get a pushback from me, but what they're going to be working on is hitting. They're going to be working on hitting the ball the other way, up the middle. The amount of time it takes to put hitters in situations and say, hey, hit of course, in our BP rounds, we did it every day in the high school level. Like we would put a runner at second. The first round was move them. And then we'd put a runner at third. The next round was hit a fly ball, because you can't just say score them, because if you score them, that means hit a ground ball or a fly ball from third base. And what if they bring the infield in? So you're when you have a runner at third base and less than 2 outs, you actually have to work on two separate drills. One is hit a fly ball in case the infield is in. The other is any way you can get them in. There is a lot of work that goes into that. A lot of times when it gets to be this part of the year, they don't even take BP outdoors because it's so hot. So I think it's just the workload. And we already see the Mookie Betts. And 162 games, man, if you work that hard every day, I will say there would be some regression, because it's just, when you're out there at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's 150 degrees like it is in Oklahoma, man. Yeah, the work is good, but the grind really wears you down. Hey, Al, thank you so much. Do you think Pryor is a big problem for the pitching problems? I don't. I think Pryor's great. I think the entire pitching situation and the Dodgers system. And here's where what I would ask you to find your proof, Alv, on the TikTok side. Go to some of my interviews of the players that just got into the system, pitchers that the Dodgers just picked up, like a Matt Sauer, and listen to them talk about the Dodgers instructional system. I think that's all the proof you'll need to know. Hey, 300 GJW, thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. That is awesome. I'm of the opinion that we need to swing big for an outfield bat. I have no problem with that. Who? I'm not sure, but I don't know if Mookie and Freddie ever return to MVP form this season. Thoughts? I think that's a great angle to look at. Not just replacing Conforto, but we need something to supplement Mookie and Freddie, because we can't just assume that Mookie and Freddie are going to flip a switch and be the Mookie and Freddie that we expect them to be. I think that's a terrific, terrific perspective. And if they think Max Muncy is going to be back and they think they need one more offensive player to supplement the fact that Mookie and Freddie aren't Mookie and Freddie, then that position would be an outfielder. That absolutely is a spot-on take, 300 GJW. I totally agree. Bruce Davis, these are pros. They should know if we're not hitting and do small ball things. I agree. Is there a current past player that Freeland reminds you of? I would say right now, I would say he's kind of a Seager light type. Good athlete, though. He has that type of swing where he really uses his bottom half. He gets really low to the ground. It's that type of spin on your back hip type of swing. His swing mechanics remind me of a probably a Corey Seager type. And I would say from a defensive perspective, he's a really great athlete. So take any shortstop that's a really good athlete that has a good arm, and that's Alex Freeland, but yet a guy that swings and misses a lot. So I don't know if there's necessarily a comp, but let me kind of throw his profile into a box. Good athlete, good arm, good swing, very powerful swing, lots of swing and miss. Okay, so lots of swing and miss, powerful swing. Doesn't hit a ton of home runs, but has a chance to hit for some slug. Is going to hit about 270. He's going to swing and miss quite a bit. He's going to have a 20-25% K rate. He's going to be a good athlete at short with a good arm. So player, I wouldn't have a good comp there, but profile-wise, I think that's how he's going to profile. Hey, Deuce, analytic strategy doesn't include small ball. I agree. Jeff Roll, we might need to draft guys that have been that have those skills. And hey, by the way, the Dodgers have done a great job drafting young guys in their system that have a lot of speed, that hit the ball the other way, that hit ground balls behind runners. They do that all the time in their minor leagues. So it's an organizational shift. You just can't put a square peg in a round hole and all of a sudden change the way that your major leaguers do things. It's like everything else. If you're going to change the mindset, it's got to start from the ground up, and the Dodgers definitely need to do that. He's not close to Seager as a hitter. I'm not saying he's that productive, but if you watch the two swings, they have very, very, very similar. As a matter of fact, I will go ahead and bring that up. Let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about here, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Let me bring this up. Alex Freeland. And as far as their swing structures go, and let's see if I have it right here. Now, this is going to be a little bit clunky. Let's see if I can get this. Let's see. Give me 1 second here, and let me look this up and see if I can. I can't remember if it was last year. Right here. Okay. This is it right here. Videos. Right there. Almost identical swing structures. Okay. A little bit higher load, but watch how they dig into the ball. I mean, those are identical swings right there. They get through the baseball. They finish through the baseball. They get into the bottom half of their body. They leverage their body. They do everything exactly identical. They have identical swings. Now, has Alex Freeland had the opportunities? Is he going to be? First of all, he's not as big, but is he? Am I saying that he is Corey Seager as an offensive player? No. But what I'm saying is he has the exact same swing as Corey Seager. So he profiles from that perspective. So that's what I'm saying, Deuce. So there's your perspective. There is your proof there of what I was talking about in terms of the swing structures being the same. Hey, Elisheva Jones, sounds like Trinan may return to Major League Baseball. Dodgers bound perhaps this week. Yes, Trinan is getting a lot closer. And when you'll know is whenever they go back-to-back with him. So, hey, we have had a wonderful crowd on our both YouTube and, yeah, JRM, thanks for the vid, yes. Yeah, and again, when I make comps like that and I say swing structures, I'm not saying that Alex Freeland's as good as Corey Seager. I mean, if you follow Dodgers Dawgs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network, surely you understand I'm not that stupid to make that statement. What I'm saying is the structures. Okay, there was a time where Corey Seager in 2015 was sitting in Oklahoma City, and I could have compared him to a major leaguer, and you would have said, oh, hell, he's not near as good as that guy. Well, now you might say he's better than him because he had the opportunity. I'm not saying that in this case. I'm just saying the swing structures are the same there. ML says thank you for the talk about Pryor and all of the situations with the pitching coaches up and down the structure of the Dodger system. So, hey, if there's no more questions that we have one right here. This year, I heard that Barnesy played against Snell this weekend. Yeah, Barnes is with the River Cats of Sacramento. The Oklahoma City Comets are in Sacramento. It was awesome to see. Jeff Roll, just seems to me that the game is going the wrong direction. I'll say this, Jeff, I think it's swinging back. So 5 years ago, everything was swing up. So what the pitcher started doing is throwing that high-riding four-seam, because the swing up, that four-seam gets above a swing-up bat like this, right? Okay. So what hitters had to do to get that high-riding four-seam, they had to level that swing out. So you're seeing flatter swings. And with flatter swings, you're going to start seeing more hard ground balls, more line drives. And when you're hitting hard ground balls and line drives instead of home runs, you have to get 3 or 4 of those in a row, which means that you have to do things to advance runners besides just gather base hits. So I honestly think, Jeff Roll, that the game is shifting back to flatter swings, which is going to lead to more situational hitting, more base running, more stealing, that kind of thing. And we already see the pitchers have already shifted to more sinkers and more cutters, which is an east and west setup because the hitters are flattening their swings out. So everything shifts. I mean, the wishbone was popular, and then you started running a couple safeties down there. Then once you started running a couple safeties, then they started throwing the ball with spread with the air raid. That kind of everything shifts around. So I think it's shifting back to more of an 80 style game, but it will be a minute. But watching the minor leagues, I think we're going to see that. Not totally, but at least some. Hey, Tian Yang, which kind of batting orders are more effective? Left, right, left, or right, or put the best guys in there, man. I am not a favor of left, right, left, right, left. I just maybe some players have splits that call for it or whatever, but I just totally agree that I just not put your best guys in there. Especially don't freaking pinch hit just because a guy's left-handed. Put your best hitter up there. That's how I believe. So hey, that's going to end tonight's show. We've had just a tremendous crowd on TikTok. We've had a great crowd on the YouTube side as well. It's been a heck of a lot of fun talking to you, Dodgers Dogs. Bruce, I want to thank you so much for joining the show today as well. That was a lot of fun getting to speak to you. We have one more comment right here. Yes, Tian Jang says true. We have one more comment there, so that is that. And so with that, we are going to tune off the air here. Stay tuned for tomorrow night when Austin is on the air with his live show. So until next time, which will be tomorrow night, Monday night, where Austin Brubaker will bring you his live show. I want to thank all of you Dodgers Dogs out there and remind you that you are the best baseball crowd on earth. And until next time, just one last reminder, it's a great day to be a Dodger.